Chapter Sunday Service online edition, coming to you from the Unitarian Parlor in Holton, Maine. We thank you for joining us, for showing up, and for helping us hold the space, sacred space for community and mutual support. You are welcome here, one and all. If you have a chalice at home, I encourage you to light yours as well. Our chalice lighting words come from the UUA Worship app. This is written by Gordon B. McKeeman. Deep calls unto deep, joy calls unto joy, light calls to light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, peace, and hope. And as one flame lights another and shines no less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of a light, no matter where we are or where we may be. For our moment of centering silence, we have a guided meditation by the poet Pablo Neruda titled, "It is Time for the Quiet." And now we will count to 12, then we will notice the silence. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines and machines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt the sadness of never understanding ourselves and of confusing ourselves about death and loss. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive in spring. Now I will count to 12 while you remain quiet, and then I will go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Opening words are a Sanskrit salutation to the dawn. Listen to the salutation of the dawn. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. And in its brief course lie all the verities and realities of our existence. The bliss of growth, the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well spent, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. Such is the salutation of the dawn. When we share our sorrow, our suffering is halved. When we share our joy, our happiness is doubled. This is the cosmic mathematics of the human soul, let us light candles as we continue this journey. We light a candle of celebration for Beltane and the spring tradition of the maypole. And if you look behind me, you will see the UU maypole wrapped in brightly colored ribbons. And we have circled this pole many a time on the first Sunday in May. We light this candle of excitement. The canoe race was here in Holton yesterday, the annual beginning of the spring season. For those who paddled and for those who watched from the bridge yesterday, it's a great way to launch the river, lakes, and water season. And also several dairy bars open this week in our local area. And we light this candle for the Poor People's Campaign and for May Day events, recognizing the right of workers and labor, doing the work of lessening income inequalities and disparate standards of living in our country. Dr. William Barber and Dr. Liz Field Harris are co-founders of the Poor People's Campaign. So this candle is for those events coming up this week. And we light the crisis candle today for the ongoing pandemic of coronavirus. As there's been progress and setbacks this past week, again, especially thinking of India today, the increased cases there, in Michigan as well, here in the United States. To heal, we must remember we shine a light in the darkness for those we have lost. And we light a silent candle this morning for those unspoken concerns and prayers on your heart today. And we'll take just a few moments of silence for you at home to work on your list, to take a few moments to add those people, concerns, prayers that you have where you are. And I'll say a prayer here in just a moment. In this world of contention, struggle, and yet incredible beauty, we offer our prayers for healing, good health, and sound mind. May all find their basic needs supplied for food, shelter, safety, and basic dignity. May each of us be mindful not only of our own needs, but the needs of others as well. This is our heartfelt prayer on this day. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be. Our music selection today is from Travis James Humphrey, recorded on the coast of Maine, where it appears Travis is soaking up some sun. Travis is playing the Beatles' popular song written by George Harrison, Here Comes the Sun.
Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it seems like years since we've been here. Here come the sun, here come the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, smiles returning to faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here come the sun, little darling, here come the sun. I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Oh, sun, 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 here it comes. Oh, sun, here it comes. Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here come the sun, little darling, here come the sun. I say it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
Spring is here, and so is the annual spring cleanup after successfully surviving another Maine winter. It's time to rake lawns, remove winter debris, get lawnmowers going, clean up a garage, and tackle spring cleaning indoors and out. It's a seasonal routine we Mainers know all too well, but there is something refreshing about swinging open the windows and letting the spring air circulate throughout the house. And no black flies as of yet. Spring cleaning of a mind is just as important as spring cleaning your house. The mental dust and buildup of ego complications need to be deep cleaned every once in a while just to keep up with life's constant demands. Today's talk is on spring cleaning your mind. 4 ways to keep your spiritual life fresh and sparkling. While spring cleaning is a necessary task and certainly hard work, a little humor helps with the effort. Here are 2 spring cleaning tweets recently found on Twitter. I'm cleaning out my basement. If anyone needs a mint condition box and user manual for a cordless phone I haven't had in 10 years. And did a bunch of spring cleaning, and now I'm a proud owner of another box of random cords. To start things off, I have a reading from Ram Dass, who wrote the best-selling Be Here Now back in the 1960s. I'm reading from one of his last books that came out in 2013, Polishing the Mirror, How to Live from Your Spiritual Heart. The cover is bright and shiny, and if you polish it enough, you can even see yourself, almost like a mirror. The process of clearing our mind of mental clutter and attachments in order to be just here now is complex and challenging. It's a multi-level game. As soon as you focus on one part of a mind puzzle of your consciousness, something else that's even harder to deal with invariably grabs your attention. In keeping with these many levels of mind and emotion, the image of polishing the mirror is a practical metaphor. A key quality of human consciousness is the ability to reflect on its own existence. This internal reflection is the process of witnessing or observing our own actions, thoughts, and emotions with an attitude of interest, tolerance, and appreciation. Polishing the mirror brings our exterior life into harmony with our own true being. Only you can know for yourself if polishing the mirror is working. You'll know it if you become quieter inside, more loving and compassionate, more peaceful and present, more content with your life. Just keep on polishing. Polishing the mirror is a spiritual practice that cleans the dust and smudgy debris of the sometimes problematic ego self that collects on the shiny surface of our awareness. It's difficult to see clearly when the mirror isn't clean. This is where the spring cleaning of the mind comes in. So what I'd like to share today are 4 ways to keep our mental perspectives clear. First, I'd like to give you 8 qualities of the ego self that are problematic, the types of things that clutter and blur the clear quality of the mind. I admit this is a short list. There are certainly more, and then some. So I encourage you to add to and expand the list as you come up with other negative and counterproductive aspects of the ego self. This is just a sample. See if you can recognize any of these traits. The maladjusted ego self is defensive, controlling, insecure, self-preoccupied, impulsive, temperamental, demanding, and immature. That is a start, a dirty list of characteristics that describe the kind of psychological and spiritual work that polishing the mirror or spring cleaning of the mind is attempting to address. Here are 4 ways to polish the mirror of the mind. Number 1, relinquish, or letting go. Number 2, simplification. Number 3, forgiveness. And number 4, allowance, or equanimity. Since each one of these points is at least a 1-hour talk, all I'm going to do is comment briefly and keep it moving. Number 1, relinquish. Our number 1 problem is retention. How many things we retain. We're not good at letting go. We like to hold on. If our number 1 problem is retention, our number 1 solution is relinquish. Let it go. When something is really sticky, it's difficult for it to slide off the surface of our mind. But if the mind is like a Teflon pan, the non-stick surface alleviates the problem. Nothing sticks to it, it just slides right off. Let it go. Relinquish. I heard it said once that this is the only practice you really need in the spiritual life. Relinquish, relinquish, relinquish. Number 2, simplification. If your mind is cluttered, chaotic, confused, overloaded, or stressed out, find a way to create some inner space. Solitude, silence, simplicity, mindfulness. Simplification of your outer world will be helpful. Simplification of your inner world will be even more helpful. If a mind is allowed an inner spaciousness, a clear mind arises. Don't complicate an already complicated situation with more complexity. Simplify. Number 3, forgiveness. This is probably the strongest cleaner available in the universe. Forgive. This is not passive action, it is positive action. The most important reason to forgive someone is not for them, though that is important. It is most important for you. When you forgive, you free yourself to move on without any residual emotional contaminants. No hate, no regret, no guilt. One of the best AA slogans I've heard is, don't let anyone live rent-free in your head. Forgive and clean up the mess. And number 4, allowance. All of us, to some degree, have a control issue. Some worse than others. The maladjusted ego self aims to control everything it can to its own advantage and in its own best self-interest. Allowance is the constant practice of observing what's going on and allowing it to be. The equanimity of good or bad, just let it be. This is what the Beatles were singing about when they sang, "Let It Be." This is one of the highest cosmic teachings, and usually we find ourselves recoiling from the implications. But allowance frees us to embrace all the ups and downs that life directs our way without the personal commentary, and allows us to see clearly as far as we can see. Here's a story by Reverend Meg Barnhouse, UU minister, writer, humorist, and recalcitrant house cleaner, from her book, Waking Up the Karma Fairy. On the carport side of my house are 2 blue spots. The rest of the house is deep purple gray. The spots mark the spot where my ladder rested when I was doing the last bit of painting. I told myself I would let the paint dry and then take care of the spots. It has been a year and a half. I know the paint is dry by now, but I have some resistance to finishing. Finishing would be depressing. I would then have to start on scraping, sanding, and painting the trim. When one job is finished, it's time to begin the next job. Maybe not finishing is a way of taking a break. I think that's part of it. I have no resistance to finishing writing jobs. I finish lectures and songs with ease. Cleaning jobs, well, that's another matter. I don't like to finish those. I like leaving one dish still in the sink or out on the counter. It feels like a lie to pretend to finish a job like that. We all know dishwashing, cleaning, painting, and any kind of maintenance is never finished. Why not just make peace with the fact that I am fighting chaos constantly? Why not leave a little chaos on purpose so I can let the universe know that I get the joke? That way I can feel I have some control in the unfinished nature of the situation. The 2 spots of blue on my house feel like a rebellion. They say, I know this job isn't finished and it's never going to be. Raking leaves, waxing the car, washing dishes, they all have to be done over and over. Finishing is a clever illusion, and I know it. You haven't fooled me into acting as if I'm through, even for a minute. There's always more to do later. Maybe I have to learn my steps in the dance of the ongoing process. I talk a good game about letting go of control, acknowledging that the journey is the teacher, not the goal. But the 2 blue spots on the side of the house are a mute and unblinking witness to the fact that I still fight. I want to be able to do all the housework my house will ever need and never do it again. I would love to do a week of constant exercise and never have to do it again. I can think of ongoing processes I love: writing, eating, talking, gardening, watching movies. But can I love the process of cleaning? Can I learn to think of painting the house as a pleasant pastime? It looks like too much of a stretch for me right now. I'm going to leave that resistance, rebellious part of myself unfinished as well. I'm going to leave a few unpainted, unimproved spots on my character, just to match my house. Like spring cleaning, polishing the mirror of a mind is a never-ending, ongoing practice that we repeat again and again. But what did you expect? And all the effort that goes into such work is good effort, and the results will be noticed and beneficial inside and out to yourself and to all those around you. This is spring cleaning the mind. Keep on polishing. Keep on polishing. Closing words are by the Reverend Charles Howe. May we go forth from this place thankful for the life that sustains and renews us, and open to the grace that surrounds and surprises us each day. May we go from this place with openness and inclusion. We are grateful on this day. I want to thank you all for joining us for the UU Holton weekly service. Like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Practice kindness, keep your attitude positive, and look out for those having a difficult time. I want to thank our cameraman, Ben Carmichael, for filming today's service and handling our production details. You'll find a link to Board Barista Productions in the description box below. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. We will see you next time.
That's a wrap.